Welcome back to those of you that joined us in phase one of the California Statewide Early Math Initiative, and welcome to those who are joining us for the first time. For those of you that I haven't had the opportunity to meet yet, my name is Dr. Matilda Soria, and I'm the Senior Director of the Early Care and Education Department of the Office of the Fresno County Superintendent of Schools. That's a mouthful, so from here on out, FCSS. I'd also like to introduce a few people that are on my team that you've probably seen in emails, met in emails, etc. Naomi Reilly, who is helping to coordinate the statewide components of the initiative from our office, and John Dewick, who just recently joined our team, who's helping to lead the local and regional components of the initiative. Naomi and John, can you share a quick intro of yourselves? We'll start with Naomi.
Hi, everyone. I've been emailing a lot of you, so it's great to see you all. Again, I'm Naomi Reilly. I'm the program specialist for the Early Math Initiative. Really excited to be here, and I'm excited for this work to begin. Pass it over to John.
Good afternoon, everyone. Again, my name is John Dewick, and I'm happy to be more involved in this. For the past few years, it's been a part of my role to join in with all of this work, and now full-time to come alongside everyone with the regional work and statewide component. Super excited to do this and learn more about everything happening and become more deeply a part of this. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Naomi and John. The FCSS Early Care and Education Department is serving as the fiscal lead and fiscal agent and lead of the initiative, and we're collaborating with amazing partners. Again, many of you have worked directly with these partners if you participated in phase one, but I'd like to introduce each one, specifically the Ames Center for Math and Science Education, the FCSS STEM Department, WestEd, GLM Media Outreach, the California Early Math Project, California Department of Education, and the California State Board of Education. We cannot do this work alone. It's a large initiative, and it really takes all of us to really produce the outcomes that we produce. So a big thank you to all of the partners that have worked with us over the years since the initial launch. During this new phase of the initiative, 25 of the original 30 agencies have committed to partner with us. Before continuing, I'd like to pause and call out each agency partner and have the associated participants introduce themselves. If you could include your name, title, and whether you participated in phase one, that would be great. So without further ado, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call out each agency, and then if you could take yourself on mute and again share your name, title, and whether or not as a participant you engaged in phase one. And so I'm going to call out the first. These are not in alphabetical order. Exceptional Parents Unlimited, or EPU. Okay. So we'll go ahead and maybe they're not on yet. Oh, yes.
Start, Matilda. I was a participant in the learnings and trainings that Claudia and her team did previously. So I was a participant in the trainings, and I think Claudia is on here as well.
Yes, so sorry about that. Hi, everyone. I'm Claudia Mesa. I'm the Senior Program Manager for Early Intervention Program here at EPU, and we did participate on the first round, and it was just an amazing experience to be able to bring all of that into our agency, not just in my department, but in all multiple departments within our program. And to this day, our program is still participating in other math related events. So
awesome. Thank you, Claudia and Michelle. Reading and Beyond.
Hi, good afternoon. This is Nakia with Reading and Beyond. I don't know if I show myself right now. Okay, yes, I do. Sorry. We did participate in phase one. We are just down the street from the Ames Center. And at the time I was in more of a support role, so I didn't really get to see some of the implementations or what we learned being implemented into the classroom. So I'm excited to be here and see what this phase two is all about.
Awesome. Thank you, Nakia. Dinuba Unified School District.
Hello. Could you remind me the question?
Sure.
I'm getting
Your-
adjusted. I'm
No,
actually
no
at
worries.
another conference and I'm
Yeah.
kind of double dipping right now.
Your name, title, and whether or not you as a participant, not as an agency, but you have participated in phase one, or is this your first time?
My name is Stephanie Amata and I'm from Gettysburg Unified. I'm our math coach. And this is my second year. Sharice Nussi is with me. This will be her first year participating as included. But yes, and the first go round was awesome. We were able to do a lot of professional learning in our primary grades that they've always had professional learning, but haven't necessarily been the focus. And so we're excited for our second go round.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Community Child Care Council of Sonoma, 4Cs.
Hi, this is Jerry Layton. I am currently a quality counts coach in our 4Cs office, and I also participated last year in the program, but I brought along this year 3 new colleagues, so I'll let them introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Marta Gomez, and I'm a quality counts coach too in Sonoma. And this is my first time.
Welcome, Martha.
Thank you.
All right.
So next, if I'm Olivia Vasquez from 4Cs, and I am a SIP trainer, and this is my first time here.
Welcome, Olivia. All
We
right.
have one more colleague, but I don't think I saw her name on here, so she may not be here yet.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Jerry and team. Central Valley Children's Services Network.
Hello, everyone. This is Christina, and I am the ECE Direct Services Manager, and this is our second phase here with you guys, so very happy to be here. We do have some new faces on our team, so we're really excited to bring our new staff on board, and also some of the same staff that were also in phase one.
Thank you, Christina. Riverside County Office of Education.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Matilda. It's good
Hi,
to see
Jill.
you.
Good to see you.
Yeah. So we were in phase one, myself and Christy Moran, who was on the call, I believe, got to travel to Fresno and be a part of phase one. We have a couple new members. Rosemaria Rodriguez is here. And I believe we have one more team member. I don't know if she's here with us today. So we're excited to bring on some new blood and excited to keep going. We're super, super happy to do this work and have integrated a lot of things into our professional development. So we're happy.
Awesome. Thank you, Jill. All right. Alameda County Office of Education.
Hi there, my name is Sarah Green. I'm the program manager for TK through 5 mathematics in Alameda County, and I am a newbie to this work. I'm excited about it. And I do have one colleague on here, Mai. She can introduce herself. She's a newbie too.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mai Nguyen Soy, Early Learning Program Manager with Alameda County Office of Education. Like Sarah said, this is my first time participating. I'm excited to be here and learn new things.
Awesome. Welcome, Sarah and Mai. Kern County Superintendent of Schools.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kyle Atkin. I am the director of our STEAM and Expanded Learning Department for Kern County Superintendent of Schools. And it is my first experience with the early math program. So we do have 2 extra colleagues that are here, and I'll let them introduce themselves.
Welcome, Kyle.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Zenaida Gallardo, and I'm also with KCSOS, and I'm a math coordinator over here, and I'm super excited to be part of this. This is my first time here, so thank you for inviting me.
Welcome, Zenaida.
And I'm Hilda Wright, and same first time here, and really excited to be part of this group and learn. So thank you for having us.
Awesome. Welcome, Hilda. All right. Galt Joint Union Elementary School District.
Hello, I'm Veronica Valdivinos. I was able to participate the first time around, and then I'm going to introduce my colleagues just because the computer's all the way over here. Sarah Mullins, this is her first time with us, but we have also Janaea Isordia, or Fuentes now, and this is her second time around.
Awesome. Welcome, Veronica and team. Bananas Inc.
Hi, hello everyone. This is Hong Chen. I'm the Provider Services Coordinator and Zip Coordinator from Bananas. I do believe our agency did participate in phase 1, but this is my first time. I'm kind of new for my agency, so this is my first time to participate. I'm looking forward. Thank you.
Awesome. Welcome, Hong. Los Angeles Unified School District.
Good afternoon. I'm Renee Amesquita, and this is our second year participating. We had the opportunity to go to Fresno. It was very exciting. We incorporated so much of what we learned into our professional development, and we continue to see that and support that as we observe in classrooms. The 4 of us attended last year, and the 4 of us are participating. So Jessica Robles Logan is on with us, but is unable to show herself right now. She's very dedicated. She's on maternity leave and joining us during her leave.
Oh, wow.
And Obiama.
Hi, this is Obiama Ute. It's so good to see everyone. And it's been a wonderful, great opportunity of learning, and we still incorporate all of that we learned, and we're still sharing with new members of our team. As we get new members, we're making sure we're sharing all that wonderful information with them. So we're looking forward to a great opportunity of learning more and collaborating with the rest of the team.
Awesome.
And Imelda will be joining us when she returns from her honeymoon.
Oh, wow. Well, welcome.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Welcome back, actually. San Mateo County Office of Education.
Good afternoon, everyone. Cheryl Chen, I'm the state preschool manager here. And I did participate in phase 1. And I believe I have 2 colleagues that should be here with me. I think Donna is here. Donna, I'm going to turn it over to you to introduce yourself.
I'm Donna Yerger. I'm a project specialist here at the county office with state preschool, and I am a newbie to the math work. So I'm excited to join this year, this time around. And then I'll pass it on to Andrea.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Andrea Burnett. I was able to participate last year, got a lot of great learnings, and with that information, we were able to do a great collaborative training with preschool and some of our K-12 colleagues, along with some coaching. So it was a great way to participate. I'm glad to continue.
Next is Butte County Office of Ed.
Hi there, I'm Kathy Daly from Butte County Office of Education, and I'm an early learning quality specialist there. And I did get to participate the first time around and just had a wonderful experience and have really used so much of what we've learned in our professional development. So we're really glad to be back. I was so excited that we have a phase 2. And I think I have 1 or 2 colleagues here that are new. Michelle, are you here?
I am. Thanks, Kathy. Yeah, Michelle Sanchez, also with Butte County Office of Ed, Senior Director in the Coordinated District Support Team. And I did not participate in phase 1, but really excited to participate in phase 2 and do some work with the Rural Math Collaborative and supporting our districts in math. So great to connect with the child development side of our house and extend that up into the TK through 12 system. So good to see you all. Thanks.
Yeah, welcome back.
Yeah, so glad you're here. And then did we also have Erica, Michelle?
Yeah, Erica won't be here today. Okay. She's at another conference today, but I know she's excited to join us on this journey.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Humboldt County Office of Ed.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Matilda.
Hi.
I'm Cindy Kopp, and I work at the Humboldt County Office of Education as the TK coordinator. And I have an amazing team of 3 with me, one here in person and one remote, but I'll go ahead and let Shannon introduce herself. And we did participate in phase 1.
I am Shannon Morago. I am the STEM learning specialist for HCOE.
And I'm Maiken Bass. I'm an instructional coach and interventionist. And we did participate. I participated in phase 1 with Cindy. And so Shannon is joining the group.
Awesome. Welcome, Cindy and team. Welcome back and welcome, Shannon. All right. Modoc County Office of Education.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jennifer Andrad. I'm with the Modoc County Office of Education. I am an instructional specialist, TK through 12, and I was part of phase 1, so I'm really excited to be back. And this time around, I have a colleague, Susan Hughes, who's not here with us today, but she's really excited to join the work with us. So excited to be back.
Awesome. Welcome back. Alisal Union School District.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Marica Rosario, and I am the teacher on special assignment of the early learning programs of Alisal Union School District. And I believe, I'm not sure if Dr. Ratliff, my director, participated last year, but this is my my first year participating. And I have 2 more preschool teachers that are supposed to be with me, but I don't think they're here today. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. Fresno Unified School District.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kim Beckwith. I am a program manager in the early learning department. I am here with 3 of my colleagues. Casey Sanum, she is the TK program manager in our early learning department. Suzanne Orr, who is an early learning support specialist working with our preschool and TK classrooms. And Mary Zhang, who is also an early learning support specialist working with our preschool and TK classrooms. Our agency did participate in phase 1. However, for this team, this is our first time participating, and we are excited to be here.
So welcome, Kim. Good to see you. Fresno EOC Head Start 0 to 5.
Good afternoon. My name is Deborah Cochran. I'm an ECE specialist. Yes, I did participate in phase 1, and we are still implementing early math initiative at our early Head Start and Head Start centers. We are practicing the professional learning trainings and also providing coaching to our teaching staff.
Awesome. Welcome back, Deborah. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Merced County Office of Education. All right, we'll circle back to Merced. Sierra Unified School District. Circle back with Sierra Unified too. El Dorado County Office of Education.
Hi, my name is Mary Jo Verbitsky. I am a coordinator of professional learning at EDCO, and I did participate in year 1, and I have a colleague with me, and I'll let her introduce herself.
Thank you, Mary Jo. Hi, I am Sarah Stowe. I am an early learning coach with the El Dorado County Office of Education and also participated in phase 1 and looking forward to doing some more work.
Awesome. Welcome back. Shasta County Office of Education.
Hi, my name is Brandy Groves. I'm the Director of Early Education and Instruction here at Shasta County Office of Ed. I did not participate last year, but one of our team members did, and she's here today as well.
My name is Leslie Segura. I'm the Quality Programs Coordinator and our UPK Coordinator, and I did participate in phase 1.
My name is Ruby Anelli. I am a preschool teacher, and I did not participate in phase 1.
And my name is Lindeen Kirkwood. I am a preschool teacher and I did not participate either, so I'm very excited.
Awesome. Welcome.
Thank you.
San Luis Obispo County Office of Education.
Hi, my name is Rochelle Boulay. I am our Planning Council Coordinator and the Administrator for Quality Counts, and I did participate last time and loved it. It was amazing. We actually just talked about getting our hexadedron, the big one, back out for an event that we're going to do. I find a reason to take it out many times, or the robots that we got. So I'm super excited for this round, and we have all new partners, and we actually moved agencies or picked up our planning council and moved over to the County Office of Ed. So we were at Capslow, but really excited. We have all new partners, and I'll let them introduce themselves. I think most of them are on the call right now.
Hi, everyone. My name is Melina Simons, and I serve on the Child Care Planning Council with Rochelle. I'm also a faculty member in the Child Development Family Studies Department at Cuesta College, training early childhood educators. This is my first time, so I'm very happy to be here.
Hi, I'm Lauren Handley. I also am part of our local planning council and work for the County Office of Education San Luis Obispo as an early learning and educational support coordinator for the county and our districts. This is my first time.
And then we also have Aurora Hernandez, and I'm not sure if she's still
Yeah.
on. Are you
Yes,
there?
I'm here. Hi, my name is Aurora. I am a child care services specialist with Capslow, and this is my first year participating.
Awesome. Welcome, Rochelle and team. And last but not least, Santa Clara County Office of Education. Looks like maybe we'll circle back with them. Any agency that I missed? I think I covered all of them.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, hi. My name is Josephine the lead. I'm one of the site directors for Head Start, working for Santa Clara County Office of Education. And our program participated in phase 1 and looking forward for phase 2. And I have new colleagues in here. I don't know if they're around. Ariane and Isabel, please introduce yourself if you're here. Oh, they're probably not.
Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome, Josephine. Anybody that I missed?
Hi, I'm Daniel Mendoza with Placer County Office of Education. I'm the program administrator here in early childhood education. Nice to see you again, Dr. Soria. And I also have on here 2 team members that also participated in the first round, Heidi Espendola, who's our STEM coordinator, and Stephen Bruce, who's one of our ECE specialists. And then we have a new team member, Katie Kozitsa, who's an early childhood specialist, is on here as well. And so it's nice seeing everybody, and I think Paul should bring the beard back.
Did you say beard or beer?
Whatever works, right?
All right. Anybody else that I missed? Cecilia?
Hello, my name is Cecilia, or CC, I go by, Zweigel, early education coach with Merced County Office of Ed. And I'm trying to rack my brain as to if I've participated in the first one or not. I don't remember, but I got the email, so I'm here.
Awesome. Well, good to welcome back or welcome.
And I believe I have a couple colleagues on too. If they joined, that would be Melissa, if she's here, I don't know, and Jackie. They may join in a little while if they haven't.
All right. Thank you, Cece.
I'm here.
Oh, there she is.
With CC. Hi, everyone. I'm Melissa Gomes. I am one of the early learning coaches with Merced County Office of Ed, and I did participate in the phase 1.
Awesome. All right. Anybody else that I missed? All right.
Hi, I'm Jackie
yes.
Brunger with Merced County Office of Ed. I'm an early learning systems specialist. And just CC let me know about it, and I caught wind of it, and I thought I'd check it out if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Thank
Good
you.
to see you, Jackie. All right, anybody else that I missed?
Matilda, can I introduce my colleague, Christina Coble? She's on here as well. I
Sure.
forgot to mention her, but she has participated in phase one as well.
Yes, I'm Christina Coble, and I'm the Early Head Start Child Development Site Coordinator. Thank you, Deborah.
You're welcome.
Awesome. All right. I think we have everybody, so we'll go ahead and continue with the COP. Thank you again for partnering with us in this new phase of the initiative. Like you, I'm really excited to see all of you and be able to work alongside all of you in this new phase. The work that we're doing together, as you know, will not only make positive gains in your communities and counties, but also all across the state. So just really excited that you're committing to partner with us in this new phase. As many of you know, and I'm preaching to the choir, focusing on STEM early as infancy is so very important. It plays a significant role on a child's development. It helps children really be successful across cradle to career. A child's math ability when he or she enters school has proved to be a better predictor of academic achievement, high school graduation, and college attendance than any other early childhood skill. Early mathematics and STEM competency even predicts later reading achievement better than early literacy skills. So what we're doing here is really monumental. To move the needle on low mathematics achievement across the state, the Early Math Initiative partners realized that we needed an innovative, multifaceted, and comprehensive approach that built off of the tenets that are on the screen. Basically, starting early as infancy, building teachers' capacity, providing support so agencies can enhance their current infrastructure, and development of resources that support not only the traditional classroom, but other variety of settings like school, at school, home, community, libraries, parks, home, just different settings. Learning can occur anywhere and should include a diversity of learners, including dual language learners, English learners, etc. If we could go to the next slide. To help support the work, our approach also included partnering with entities like yourself across the state to help us to co-create and test and pilot professional learning materials and resources to ensure that we're effectively serving the mixed delivery system across the birth to third grade continuum. And during this new phase, we took all that we learned in phase one with all of your help and are in the process of creating a series of web-based resources that will attempt to replicate that phase one experience. So what exactly will you be doing over these next 2 years? And many of you have seen the scope of work information, but what I wanted to share today is really a very high-level overview, and there will be opportunities in the survey that's sent out at the end if you'd like to have a what we coined in phase one, a Matilda moment, if you remember, it's inside joke for phase one. These are informal Q&A sessions with myself and with my team regarding the initiative, required deliverables, grant funding, life advice. Just kidding on the life advice. I charge by the hour. No, I'm just kidding. Seriously though, if you have any additional questions beyond what's shared today, feel free in the survey to click, yes, I'm interested in a meeting, and we could meet and kind of talk, especially those participants that are new. This is the first time from your agency that are participating. If you have any questions about certain aspects of the project, feel free to reach out and schedule that time, and we'd be happy to set that up. So it is a 2-year commitment that we're asking. If you're here, then it's assumed that you agree with that and are excited about that. That includes quarterly virtual community of practice sessions, and that includes breakout sessions where we do some work group engagement on specific topics, and we'll talk more about that a little later. In between COP sessions, there will be some reviewing of draft content that's created so that you could come to the COPs and provide input. There will be some virtual interactions between agencies to support that networking and growth. In addition, there will be coaching sessions that are offered. These are optional. However, they're strongly encouraged for new participants. So really, you know, and again, everybody could participate in the coaching sessions that are going to be provided by the awesome AIMS team. But we strongly encourage for those new participants. Again, optional, but strongly encourage across the board. In addition, there's the implementation of professional learning and coaching sessions. This is where you're going to take the content and provide to your respective communities. And we're asking that you provide at least 3 professional learning sessions. That's going to look different in different communities. It could be virtual, it could be in person, whatever works best with your target populations. And these sessions would be a minimum of 1 hour each per year, serving at least 20 individuals. In addition, providing at least 3 coaching sessions per year. And then finally, participate in evaluation activities. This helps us to know how we're doing as an initiative, what we need to shape, reshape, refine, etc. along the way. And so we really ask that when you get that email about a survey, a focus group, etc., that you participate. Okay. So I'm going to pass the mic now to Paul Reimer, the Executive Director of the AIMS Center on Math and Science Education. And just another reminder, if you are interested in that one-on-one Matilda moment, please in the survey, check yes, and we will reach out to you and help you if you're kind of thinking, well, what does a professional learning look like? What do you mean by coaching, evaluation activities, etc.? We're here to support you, so feel free to reach out. Thank you, everybody, and again, welcome. I'm excited to see all of you, and those of you that are coming back for the second phase, those of you that are new, welcome, 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 and just excited to be able to partner with you over these next 2 years. Thank you so much, and over to you, Paul.
Thanks, Matilda. And again, I want to just echo Matilda's welcome to everybody. It's so great to see so many familiar faces, but also a lot of new folks as well joining us here for the initiative phase 2. Just thrilled to be able to be a part of this work. Again, my name is Paul Reimer. I'm the director here at the AIMS Center. We're located in the Fresno area, and we are a nonprofit focused on playful and engaging math and science education across ages and contexts. And our role in this initiative has been really to spearhead the professional learning and coaching aspects of this work. And we were just so excited to launch this work together in phase 1, to bring so many of you and other folks to Fresno to join us for a week of intense hands-on learning together, playful learning around some of the core ideas and themes of early mathematics development and learning. We spent a week together just exploring ideas, doing activities together, thinking about ways that we could engage with hands-on learning, exploring a variety of tools and objects that could support early mathematics learning, both in classrooms and as well in outside areas, in informal contexts. One of the main themes of the work that really was a kind of aligning throughout all of the activities was that mathematics can be a playful and engaging activity that we all engage in, whether it's through simple activities in our everyday routines or through more intentional explorations, that mathematics is something that we do. It's a way that we see the world. And just to be able to experience that and explore that together was powerful. And throughout the first phase, we also had a lot of online engagement. The community of practice sessions like we're experiencing today were opportunities for us to network as a group of educators thinking about children's mathematics learning. They were ways for us to also learn together and to expand the ways we think about mathematics in our own learning as learners, and then as well to think about it as educators or as facilitators of professional development. So the online engagement was meant to really build on and extend the learning that we do together. And we really want to see that happening throughout the community of practice sessions in phase 2. One of the wonderful things that happened in the first phase of this project is that each agency was able to develop a plan to implement what they were learning in their own context with the educators they work with. And so it was wonderful to see just the wide variety of ways that each agency contextualized this work so that it became personally meaningful and relevant to the educators that they worked with. We want to see ways that we can co-create and co-design this work together. Each of you who is with us today will play an instrumental role in how this work, how we engage in this work, and how this work continues going forward. And so we hope that you find many opportunities throughout this project to be able to share what you've seen work, to be able to share your ideas, to be able to talk about things that you would find helpful, resources and activities and learning. So we do want this to be a collaborative experience. So to really sum up the work that we've done and the work that we continue to do together, we are grateful for our partnership. We recognize that this is human-centered work. All of us are doing this work because we believe strongly in young children's learning and in the opportunities that they have to develop and to grow, to enhance creativity. And we know that the educators, the caregivers, those who work with them have a crucial role in helping to nurture that development. So our project is meant here, our initiative is meant here to really develop those relationships, to develop the capacities to move this work forward. So we're excited about being together. We're thrilled to be able to be learning together in this setting. So one of the things that we love to do together is to experience that kind of learning together. So I hope that you received some information about materials that you might need to gather for this first COP. There was a list that was sent out and some materials that you were able to hopefully pull together. And those things are going to be needed now. So if you need to grab them, find where those are and get them nearby. We're going to be shifting now to a hands-on portion of the COP. And two of our Ames team members, Aileen Rizzo and Steve Pauls, will be guiding us all in an exploration of geometry and spatial thinking. And this is an activity for adult learners. This is an activity for us to really think about ways that we might experience geometry and spatial thinking in our own activities and the things that we explore. So this is an opportunity for you to engage in that and to explore your own thinking around some of these ideas. And we'll share a little bit more about this activity and sort of the context of where this activity fits into the broader set of resources that will be developed throughout this phase 2 of the initiative. But for now, I want to turn it over to Aileen and Steve to guide us in our exploration.
All right. Hello, everyone. Hopefully you can hear me clearly. Thumbs up if you can hear me clearly. Great. Okay, so we're going to do some hands-on mathematics right now, and hopefully you have all your materials that you need. You got some templates, and so this one is the one we're going to start with, the one that you'll see 4 triangles arranged in a certain order. And I'm going to have you cut that out first. You're going to cut along the dark line all the way around. We're going to really engage a lot in some of this academic vocabulary, some of this math vocabulary that's so important. So one of the things that I wanted to do is not assume that. And so We're doing pull-up polyhedras right now, and so polyhedra is plural for polyhedron, which is just one. And I heard somebody mention the icosahedron that we built in phase 1. And that was one of the new kind of vocabulary or shapes that we explored. So we're gonna do something that kind of is an integration of some mathematics and some engineering. So as you cut that out, you're going to notice that you're cutting around a shape that has 4 sides. And it has 4 sides, and 2 of those sides that are opposite of each other are parallel. And then the other 2 are also parallel. So we would call this a parallelogram, right? And parallelograms, like triangles, are 2-dimensional shapes, right? There's this width and height. And we're going to talk about how shapes that are 2-dimensional can become shapes that are 3-dimensional, because those are a different kind of category of shapes, and they function differently and they have different vocabulary that goes with them. So in shapes like this, we talk about sides, and we can talk about like the corners, right? So this is an example of something in our everyday life where we might see that's flat, that kind of has this 2-dimension. But then if I hold it a certain way and pull it out, I see it becomes a 3-dimensional object. It has functionality in my life because it carries my favorite soda in it, right? And you'll carry 4 of them at the same time. So we're going to kind of look at that exploration of how 2-dimensional shapes can become 3-dimensional. So if you cut that out and you cut out your parallelogram, it should look something like this now. And we're noticing that we have now these dotted lines that are inside, and you're going to actually fold along those dotted lines. You're going to fold in the same direction. And these shapes will now become faces in our new shape that it will create. So if you see, I'm just kind of folding it along those dotted lines. And all of those are valley folds. So if you look at them, they're all going in, right? And you'll have all of those folded and creased nice and tight. Right. So it won't lay flat, completely flat, but that's okay. All right, once we have that done, we're gonna make some holes on this shape. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a hole at this corner and one at this corner, and then 2 along the bottom. If you don't have a single hole punch, what also works is if you put it over carpet or a towel, you can use a sharp object like a sharp ballpoint pen or a pencil, and you can poke those through if it's over like a towel or a carpet. I'm going to use the hole punch and make it so that it's not too close to the edge, but still kind of in that area. And there. Here, and at the 2 bottom pieces here. Right, so it should look something like this. All right, so after this, you're going to grab your string. Mine's already pre-cut. And if you're wondering how long to cut it, I mean, you can kind of wrap it around and see about that length. I think about, 1.5 feet, maybe 2 feet would be plenty. It's okay if there's a little extra. It could fall along the end here. But we're going to thread this intentionally so that we can have it pull up into the 3-dimensional shape. So what I'm going to do here is show you how to thread that. So we're going to start from the bottom here. And it's going to thread through the bottom out this first hole and then through the top one. I'm giving myself some room here because then it's going to go through the back and come out this corner. And then it's going to go back through at the bottom. All right, so before we put it on a mount, we're going to kind of anchor it. I'm going to test it to see if this threading works. And so I'm going to hold this face or this triangle down with my finger, and I'm going to pull these two at the same time, and it should close into a three-dimensional shape. So wait for me to see if those folds are correct. All right. So you saw at the beginning of, before we started, that we had a name on that template and it said tetrahedron. Tetra meaning 4, and then hedron meaning a 3D shape. So this shape has 4 faces. So right now what I'm doing is adding some tape to that bottom piece because it really helps if I anchor that down and I don't have to hold it anymore. So now as I pull it, I can just hold this piece and you can see it close. And you can reopen it and you can close it and open it. And that's the experience of seeing what we call in mathematics is a net become now a three-dimensional shape, which is called a tetrahedron. We can also look at it and maybe recognize it as a pyramid, right? We've seen pyramids, and pyramids can have different bases. Lots of the pyramids we see have like a square base at the bottom. This one, all of the faces are triangles. And instead of having sides, now we have edges. And everywhere a face meets another face, where we folded are now our edges. And our corners now are vertices. We have vertices now. So this is kind of a way just to first experience that idea of shapes, nets, and a lot of the vocabulary that goes around those kind of objects, but also just the functionality of how something has to be purposefully folded and then threaded with the yarn to be able to open up and then close using just those strings. So I'm going to hand it over to Steve. He's going to show us another example of one of the other nets that you have. This time we're going to use a cube.
Hello, everyone. What we are going to look at next is the cube net, and you should have that as one of your templates. And I'd like to call this a cross. And you can go ahead and start cutting that out, cutting out the outline of your cube net. And we're going to look at its geometric shape as well. You'll notice that on this particular object, instead of triangles, you have squares, and you have an equal, these squares are all equal to each other. Count how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 different squares that are all connected to each other. So go ahead and cut that out. And we're going to do something very similar as we did with our tetrahedron, is that we're going to add, use our hole punch or use our pencil to punch holes in the corners with the idea to take this two-dimensional object and pull it together to form a geometric object, a three-dimensional geometric object. Now, as Paul said, that we are doing this as an adult learning, right? It's important for us not to just teach, but to also learn and think about our learning as we do that. And for this, what we're looking at in the three templates you have, and I'll show you a few more templates that are possible, is we're looking at platonic solids. And these platonic solids are important in engineering, in geometry, in architectural design. And we find them both in nature and in our human constructions. But we also, these polyhedral nets that we're talking about, we find in a lot of different areas in our house, in our household. Think about packaging. Think about how a manufacturer wants to ship an object to you, a product to you, and keep it safe. Next time you get a package from Amazon, I know you're excited about what's in it, but think about the packaging around that product. It really is amazing the architecture and the design that goes into protecting that object. We used to do a lot of that with styrofoam peanuts. Styrofoam peanuts have kind of fallen out of favor since they are environmentally not as functional as now that we know they don't degrade as fast in the landfill. And so they found other ways to protect products. And part of that is cutting and folding of the packaging around it. All right, so if you have this cut out, what I'd like you to do is to fold each of those squares along the dotted line. And what I would do is, if you can do this with cardstock, you could use regular paper as well. But you want those creases to be very sharp and to be well broken in. So if you're using cardstock, you can fold that back and forth a couple times, valley and mountain folds to kind of break that structure down. If you're using single or copy paper, maybe one fold or two should do it just fine. But you want that hinge to work, be relatively loose. Okay, so you fold along those dotted lines. Again, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares, which are all the same, and as a two-dimensional object. So what do you think this object will look like? What three-dimensional geometric shape will this object look like if we fold it together? Think about that. If you have a response, you can post that in the chat.
A dice.
Good, a dice, a cube, excellent. Right, 6 sides. We know a cube has 6 sides. A dice is something that we're all familiar with in playing games. A box, good. So now the question is just like our tetrahedron, where do I need to put the holes such that I can, with one pull of my string, be able to draw this up into a cube, into a dice? Take a look at pull out your tetrahedron again. Fold it, unfold it. See how that was put together. We're going to do something very similar with our cube in a moment. How did that happen? What had to happen for you to be able to pull that into a tetrahedron? Now, this is a part of the learning, right? It's very unlikely that you have done this before, but we begin to think about this in terms of 2 dimensions to 3 dimensions. We use our spatial learning to begin to mentally visualize what has to happen. Okay? So we have our tetrahedron as an example. With our cube then, I'm going to put a series of holes in the corners. Again, think about where those holes might go. If you go ahead and give it a try. Punch some holes and If you put a hole in the wrong place, that's okay. We can always make another one, or you don't have to use that hole as you're threading it through. And that's part of the process, the iteration that we are interested in. We're learning about our own learning. Now, you could use a hole punch, or you could use a pencil to punch a hole through. You could, this is cardstock paper, so it's relatively rigid and the holes hold together pretty well, no pun intended. But if you have copy paper, one thing you might do is you could put tape on the corners so that when you punch a hole, it's a little more structurally sound. So, because when you're pulling the string, sometimes copy paper could the friction could begin to rip the paper. But you could still, with a little bit of tape, copy paper works just fine. So we can string this in different ways. What we want, though, is to pull this into from a two-dimensional to a three-dimensional shape. And due to time, I'm going to string this one way. And so what I've done is I have gone through the hole on the left and looped around the back and out the top on the top of my cross. Then I'll come down and from the underneath side, go through each of the arms or the wings. And then at the base, what I'm calling the base of my cross, as it faces me, I will go underneath, through and down. And then what I'll do is I'll tie these two ends together. So now I have a loop of yarn or string, which is tying the top, two holes in the top, a hole in each side of the wing, and two holes in the bottom. Now, if you have another piece of cardboard or cardstock, I will put it here and I will use a piece of tape. I'm going to fold it over as a loop, sticky side out. And at the base of my cross, that bottom square, I'll put a little piece of tape to hold that down. What you also could do is put holes in that base piece of paper so that before you tie the knot, your string goes through and ties from underneath. So I could be pulling from underneath the base. In this case, I've just, it's not going through the base paper, but just through the cross itself. Okay. So I have this square is held down. I could use my fingers, but if I have just a little piece of tape, that helps hold it there. Now, kind of looks like a kite. Before I pull this string, now think about what's going to happen. And this is where that three-dimensional spatial visualization comes into play, is what corners of my two-dimensional object have to match up to make a three-dimensional object, right? As I pull this, right, my top of my cross begins to move, right? And I pull it together. I'm going to use another piece of tape back here a little bit. And pulls together to form a cube. But how did that happen? And that's what I find fascinating about these objects, is how in the world did that happen? And could I have predicted not just what that object would look like, but how that would fold together, right? To make a cube, we need to have 6 sides, right? We have 8 corners on our side, 4 on the top and 4 on the bottom. And notice how these 2 corners are going to fold down to fold in to create a top. And the top of my cross then, trying to get this right so you can see, right? Top of my cross, the wings of my cross and the top pull together, and the string pulls that together, and then they all pull down to the base, right? To make our cube. To me, that's fascinating. I love the idea of being able to turn a 2-dimensional object into a 3-dimensional object. And where the cube is, this is relatively easy to see as a cube, right? Because it has 6 equal squares that form a cube, which we are used to seeing. The one thing I want you to think about is that there are other ways of rearranging 6 squares so they're attached to each other. And the question is, how many different ways can you arrange 6 squares so they're attached in different arrangements? What would that look like? Well, you do have one other object or one other template, which we call the staircase cube, where you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equal squares arranged in a different pattern. So this also will form a cube, but you're going to have to string this quite differently to get that to happen. Now, we don't have time now to do this, but we have given you the template, and I encourage you to cut that out and play with that a little bit. Where do you put the holes? And I think what I would do if I were, my suggestion is for you to put a hole in every corner. So you're not worried about, should I put a hole here? Should I not put a hole here? Put one in every corner and then string it different ways and see how it pulls together. And it may not make a cube the first time or the second time, but that iterative process of understanding how you to form a 3-dimensional cube from a 2-dimensional object is really a test of geometry and spatial thinking. Now, those are the 3 templates we've given you, but there's many more different ways to arrange 6 squares. And I'm going to show you some examples. I encourage you to think about the different ways to arrange. Here's 6 squares arranged in a T. Here's 6 squares arranged in a Z. I don't know, my geometrical vocabulary fails me. I don't know what that shape that is, but there's also 6 squares. Here's another version. Here's our cross that we have worked with. How about this shape? So, and there are others. I think we have up to 10. There's at least 10 ways of rearranging these 6 squares. Can all of them pull together to form a cube? That's a good question. I'm not going to give you the answer to that. I don't know the answer to that. We'd have to play and see if we could find a way of being able to pull those together. As a science guy, I have to say there is a relationship here with our platonic solids in terms of how atoms are arranged to form crystalline structures, and how atoms are arranged to form molecules. Arranging 6 carbon atoms in these different shapes represents different molecules. And we find that each of those have different both chemical and physical properties. So there's a math aspect to this, there's a science aspect to this. tremendous amount of geometric and spatial learning involved in all of engineering involved in all these different shapes.
All right, yeah, thank you for engaging, doing some hands-on math. And we're going to hand it over to Paul.
Thank you so much, Steve and Aileen, for guiding us in that exploration. We'd like to give everyone an opportunity to reflect on this experience. So in just a moment, we're going to open up breakout conversation rooms, and you'll be put into a room with your colleagues. We'd like you to reflect on 3 questions together as a group. Think about your experience with this activity. What was it like to experience this as a learner? What elements of geometry and spatial thinking did you experience? And what questions might you ask educators as they engage in this activity to help them reflect on their own understanding of the concepts explored? So there won't be a particular facilitator in your breakout group, so please jump in and get started talking about these things. Very interested in how you experienced this and what reflections you may have. So I'm going to, we'll open up the breakout rooms here. You'll have about 10 minutes to have this conversation, and then we'll bring you back together. And at that point, we'll have a brief break before we continue with our session today. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for engaging in some reflection around the activity. We hope that there were some great conversations with colleagues about your own learning and about ways that you think educators may engage in this activity to further explore their own understanding of geometry and spatial thinking through this activity and through any extensions that you may have discussed as well. We'd like to pause here and take a break. This is a wonderful opportunity to stand up, to stretch a little bit, to get some refreshment, to just sort of take some time to breathe deeply before we continue our session together. So we'll break now and we'll reconvene at 3 o'clock. And at that point, our colleagues and our friends at West Ed will be facilitating the next portion of our session together. So we'll see you all back here at 3 o'clock. Our session. Excited to continue with our session today. Welcome back. And I'd like to now introduce our West Ed colleagues who will take us into the next portion of our COP today.
Sorry about that. Just getting my screen sharing. Is everyone able to see my screen? Great. All right, give me 1 second. All right, we're good to go. Hello, everyone. My name is Alexa Roth, and I'm a program associate at West Ed, and I'm thrilled to be with you all to talk a little bit about our collaboration on the online suites. I'm joined here by several of our team members, which you'll meet in just a few minutes as we break out into breakout rooms in the later portion of this section. So to start, in our session today, we will just talk about the overview of the online suites, as Matilda mentioned earlier on in our session. So we'll go through an overview of those. We'll explore the key components of the online suites, and then we'll break out into breakout rooms where we'll be able to discuss the components of the suites as well as the topics and be able to just have your feedback and learn a little bit more about what you're hoping to get out of this next phase of the project. But before we do that, we figured we'd start with a little warm up. So if you could just take a few minutes, think about your role as a trainer or a coach in early math. You can think about things you've done in CAME phase 1 or other experiences that you've had, and think about, what do you need to be successful in this role? What are some things you need from us, from your team? And we're going to go ahead. I think there's a link in the chat. So if you go ahead and just click on that link, and you can enter your 1 or 2 word response in there. And I'll just give everyone a minute or 2 to do that.
As you go. Great.
Awesome.
So we can see here some of the words that people are using to answer this question. See, the word collaboration is a strong one here.
Resources. We'll definitely have, and we'll talk a lot about those throughout this session.
Yeah, materials, I see resources. Budget is another one that's smaller on here, but also a really important one. Guidance.
Whoever wrote humor, we're on the same side here. We'll try to bring that to as many sessions as we can.
Development. Thanks, everybody. PACE, we're still supporting our schools. We are separate LDE, former LD East and former LD Central. So I'm doing all the former LD Central schools, and we're still supporting schools, especially if you have questions. PACE is supporting with those schools receiving that MMALC position with our staff codes, just
so they're not talking.
I think, are we hearing someone who's
Yeah, I think we are hearing someone
who's not on mute, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got some great words here.
Yeah.
So
Patience.
Patience, guidance, collaboration, resources, those seem to be really important pieces here. I'll stop sharing and let you share again, Alexa.
Sounds great. As I do that, I'll pass it off to, sorry about that, to my colleague Osnat Sur, and she'll carry us into what we've done in phase 1 and what we're hoping to do in this next phase of the work.
Thank you, Alexa, and hello, everyone. It is super exciting to see CAME coming back to life and to see some familiar faces and some new faces. My name is Osnat Zur. I'm the content area lead for early childhood learning and development at WestEd. As Matilda shared earlier, WestEd serves as one of the partners on CAME, along with FCSS, AIMS, the Early Math Project, and other partners. And in our role, we co-lead the development of online professional development suites. In case you saw in the agenda for this section, online suites, will go and discuss it in greater length in a second. But as part of our role, we are partnering with FCSS, with AIMS and other partners on the development of these online suites. And also WestEd continue to serve as lead evaluators on the initiative in the same way we have done in CAME phase 1. For today, we are really going to focus on engaging you for the first time in the plan for the online suites, and maybe even gathering some feedback from you later in the hour on some of our initial thoughts, plans, vision for the suites. So what do we hope, and how did we come up with the idea of creating online professional development suites in early math? As you all know, whether you participated or not, CAME had developed and implemented an approach for early math, one that is has a very clear signature of being play-based, on engaging math in different settings, like Matilda said earlier, in helping different people see themselves competent in leading early math learning, coaching, or training, in building a positive image and helping people recognize their competence, and having a positive mindset and a growth mindset in relation to early math as adults and with the children we support. And also lots of content in math specific areas, whether it's number sense and early counting and addition and subtraction, or geometry we did earlier today, and spatial reasoning, patterning, sorting, measurement. Many of the agencies who participated provided, we know from the evaluation that you all provided training and developed expertise in specific content areas that you have used in your training, and not only in the knowledge of what early math is in those areas or how children develop this, but your wisdom on how to approach adult learners and educators that you work with in helping them understand, get excited about the content, and build their capacity in practice, right? In helping young children develop their early learning, their early math skills within their local communities, early learning settings, and with their families. So what we hope to do in this phase is really to build on this collective wisdom and expertise that we brought, that you have gained and brought, that all of us are collaborating. If you've seen collaboration, this is a big theme for our phase 2. We are going to collaborate with you on the development of these suites. We will engage you in a process where you serve as reviewers, where you serve as contributors, and in many cases also content developers, where you provide us your feedback on what you think would work or not for the people you work with, because we want to make it as useful as possible, as accessible and relevant to the agencies you work with, to the educators and the children and families we serve. And therefore, we cannot do it alone. And this is the reason that in phase 2, we start slow by first inviting you to join us in this development process, and only later possibly invite other agencies. But for now, you are the core team we went back to, because you have shared with us this experience, whether you personally are new or not, that doesn't matter. Each one of you has valuable information to contribute to the development of the suites, from your new, fresh perspective, if you are new, or from your previous experience in developing and implementing training and coaching in early math. So in the session today, I'm joined here by a large group of my colleagues who will engage us in learning more about the plan for the online suites and getting your initial feedback. As I've mentioned, Wested is also responsible for the evaluation, and my colleague and co-lead on Wested side of the initiative is Jennifer Marcella Bourdet. We'll talk with you after we talk about the suites, about the evaluation, and give you a little bit more of an idea of what can be expected in terms of your engagement and opportunities for you to be actively involved in our evaluation process. So for now, I'm going to invite Sophie, I think, to take us through an overview of what we are planning for the online suites, and some of the timeline and planning, so you have an idea of what's to come and where we are in this process.
Great. Thank you, Osnat. So Osnat already mentioned that we're very excited about developing some online suites So for those of you who are part of phase 1 of CAME, you will recall that many different resources were developed by groups like AIMS, but also by you, the participating agencies. And these resources include materials like PowerPoints on specific math topics. There were research briefs, there were coaching tips, adult learning activities, child activities. And an important part of the work in phase 2 is to really try and bundle all these resources that are so valuable and that we heard from you were really helpful by bundling them into these online professional learning suites. So our plan is to develop a series of 10 online professional learning suites that build on these resources from phase 1. But of course, we are also planning on developing many new resources as part of phase 2 as well. And all of this will live on a publicly accessible website. Next slide. So who are these suites for? Well, first and foremost, we are designing these online suites with you in mind so that you can support early childhood educators in early math. And in the way that we're thinking about these suites, there's really 2 types of suites. Some, which we are calling the facilitator suites, are designed to build your own capacity on early math topics or how you might help adult learners or how you might coach. To really help you feel more confident and confident in your knowledge in supporting early childhood educators. Then the second set of suites, which we're calling the educator suites, are really designed to provide you with professional learning resources to use in your training and coaching with educators. So when you go and conduct training and coaching in early math, what are some of the resources you might want to use to do that? Next slide, please. So in developing these suites, there are a few aims that we're trying to keep in mind throughout the process. Through these suites, we're aiming to build knowledge and skills of how children develop early math skills and concepts from birth to 8, which is the age range of the initiative. We're also hoping to develop knowledge and skills on how educators can support children in learning these early math skills and concepts. We're hoping to help raise awareness and create a community of learners that is engaged in developing early math environments. And we're hoping to provide ideas on how you might engage families and community organizations in early math activities. So these are the aims that we're keeping in mind as we're developing each of these suites. What I'm going to do next is walk you through some of the suite topics that we have in mind for these suites. And if you'll recall, I just mentioned there's 2 types of suites. So you'll see 2 boxes here, one named facilitator suites and one named educator suites. What you might notice is that in each of these buckets, the first suite listed is mindsets about math. So we see this as almost a type of introductory suites to all the other suites that really is for both facilitators, so you and the educators that you work with. And what we'll be doing in this suite is asking participants to think about their own math mindsets, any preconceived ideas they have around math, and reflect on where these mindsets come from. We will talk about things like math anxiety, negative perceptions around math, and common misconceptions. And really what we're hoping to do is to show how through play and hands-on learning, adults and children can really get a positive experience around math and build those positive math attitudes. We felt that this was a really important component of the CAME Phase 1 Summer Institute and the COPs more generally that we wanted to make sure was reflected in these suites. So then when you look at the facilitator suites, the next topic that we're proposing for a suite is called Building Local Capacity and Infrastructure for Professional Learning in Early Math. So what we're hoping to do in this suite is provide you and other agency facilitators with the tools to develop a community and an infrastructure for early math professional development, and also helping you understand what it is that your community might need, how you might get buy-in from leadership, and how can you put in place a professional learning structure for early math. The third suite is called Principles and Practices for Adult Learning. So you engaged earlier this morning in an earlier this afternoon, I should say, in an adult learning activity to help you engage in early math. And what we're covering in this suite is how you might introduce some of these ideas with adult learners in your community. So how might you set up professional learning experiences so that the adults that you work with are able to learn and implement that knowledge that in their own practice. The fourth suite is principles and practices for coaching early math. Here we're hoping to cover how effective practices in coaching specific to early math can be beneficial for educators and you yourself. And then the last facilitator suite is around promoting continuity in P3 and early math. So with California's new policies around P3 alignment, this suite will really provide an overview of how standards, curricula, instructional practices, and assessments align and diverge from within this 0 to 8 age group. And really, we're hoping to show here how cross-sector collaboration can really be beneficial. So I know I just mentioned a lot there. Those are the facilitator suites. Let me briefly mention the educator suites next. So as I mentioned, that Mindsets About Math suite is repeated here, but then you will see that the next 4 suites are really around early math topics. So number and counting, operations and algebraic thinking, measurement and data, and geometry and spatial thinking. And so in each of these suites on these 4 math topics, we were hoping to cover how children develop and learn skills and knowledge in that area of math from birth to 8 years, as well as provide ideas for how educators can support children in learning in these math areas. And given how popular they were in phase 1, we will also be providing a variety of activity ideas that educators can implement into the classroom straight away around these different math topics. So these are suites that will be presented online on a website that you, an agency facilitator, can take and then take some of these materials to implement in professional learning sessions. And then the last topic here is family and community engagement, where we will provide ideas for how educators may want to engage families and other community members in early math, how they might want to talk to families about early math, and also incorporate cultural and family experiences into the early math that children are doing in the classroom. So those are the suite topics. We will go into breakout rooms in a little bit later, and we will present these topics to you again and ask you for your feedback on them. So you'll be able to see these again and think through them. Next, I briefly just want to talk about the way that we are organizing these, each of these suites into different components. So as we mentioned, the suites is really going to provide a collection of resources that you can take for your own learning or in your training and coaching sessions with educators. And we understand that there are a variety of different types of resources that you may want to use. And so we're trying to, within these suites, provide that variety. So what you'll see here is 4 types of resources that we will be providing. In these Learn section type resources, we will be providing you or educators with information in a compact way. And this could be presented through PowerPoint slides that you could take, for example, in a training. We'll include facilitator notes along with that. There might be handouts with tips or key pieces of information that you can read yourself or hand out to educators you work with. Then in the Do section, we will be providing hands-on activities for both adults and children, so you can really get involved and stuck into the early math, just like you did earlier today. In the Watch section, we will be providing you with both videos and vignettes of children engaging in early math, as well as practitioners sharing their reflections or process in engaging children they work with in early math. We know how beneficial it is to be able to watch other educators in action. And so through these videos and vignettes, we're hoping to really show you what math could look like in different types of settings. And lastly, in Reflect sections, we will be providing reflection questions and other types of probes to help you in reflecting on the content that you might be taking in from the suites, as well as to present to educators so they can think about how they might use some of the knowledge that they're gaining through the suites and implement it into their own practice. So just to give you a rough overview of the timeline where we are with these suites. So As I mentioned, we're developing 10 suites and we're doing it in 3 batches of suites. We have just started developing the first batch of suites that we're hoping to launch in the summer of 2023, so this summer. That may not be the finalized version yet, since we are hoping to hear from your feedback. And then batches 2 and 3 will be slowly trickling out after that. Now, lastly, I'd like to talk a little bit more about your role in the development of these online suites. So the CAME partners really can't develop these suites without your help. We have learned so much from you and your colleagues as part of CAME Phase 1 about what types of resources you need and what has been useful for you. And we really hope that we can continue to learn from you in CAME Phase 2. So there's a few ways that we're hoping to do that. First of all, you really are the co-creators of these online suites. We want to provide you with many opportunities to provide us with feedback on resources that we are developing at different stages of development. So you may be able to provide feedback on something that's just started being developed and then provide feedback later on when it's almost completed. You will also recall that I mentioned that we're hoping to have videos be included as part of these online suites. So we are going to start our filming process at the Lighthouse, which is the demonstration site for CAME. But we do want to make sure that in our video footage, we are really representative of all the programs and agencies that are part of this initiative and that are just representing California more generally. And so I'm asking you to think about whether there are any programs that you work with that you would really like to see on film, or that you feel like would be really great places for us to film. We will be reaching out to you in the future with ideas for programs that you think would be really great examples of early math practice. But in the meantime, you can also reach out to us if you have any ideas already. And then lastly, you really are the first users of our online suites. While these suites are going to be publicly accessible, you'll be our first people to be able to use them. And that's another way that we're hoping to gain your feedback. So I know I just went through a lot of information. I'm going to pass it back to Alexa, who will introduce you to the first opportunity that you have to be co-creators of these online suites.
Great. Thanks so much, Sophie. So as Sophie mentioned, now's our opportunity to really get your feedback and to really hear from you about what you think about all these things that Sophie presented. What about the topics? What about the components? Are there things that you see that you like, things that you see that we could change or alter a little bit? So we're really excited to hear your feedback. When the word cloud popped up and I saw everyone's feedback, the biggest word that was, that everybody mentioned was collaboration. And I think this fits well within our process for getting your feedback and discussing these things in breakout rooms. So the purpose for these breakout rooms, again, is to create a space for that collaboration between the suite developers, which are all in this room with us today, and with the suite users, which is you and the educators that you work with. So we're going to provide you with an opportunity to give us thoughts, feedback, ideas on the suite topics and the components that we shared with you all. And we're going to do that in 7 breakout rooms. And this will be with about 10 of you all, 8 to 10. And 2 CAME team members, and this will be from West Ed, FCSS, or Ames. A few things we wanted to mention, if you've been in a focus group with us all in phase 1 or an interview with us, is that we really just want to hear everyone's thoughts and opinions during this breakout room. So there aren't any right or wrong answers. It's really just your thoughts and ideas, and we welcome all of them. So not everyone has to answer every question. It's okay for you to listen and agree with someone or offer an alternative opinion. And we want it to be more of a conversation. So it's also fine to just sit back and just listen if you don't have anything to contribute for that specific question. Are there any questions before we jump into breakout rooms?
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Alexa, are you going to share the slide for me?
Yes, apologies.
No worries. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you all for your ideas and starting this partnership on the development of the online suites. I know our group had a really rich discussion to start us off. And our whole team is very excited to re-engage you all in CAME, but also in this new role of helping us develop the suites, which will be a great resource for you all, the educators you work with, but also available across the state as well. Okay, so in our last few minutes, we saved the best for last, the evaluation activities. I know you're all super excited about it, as are we. So as Osnat mentioned, WestEd will continue to serve as the evaluator for the CAME activities that we're working on. We think about evaluation broadly, even what we just engaged in, discussing together your input and feedback on the suites is really a form of gathering information that I know our team, as well as all of the CAME partners, really value and appreciate all of your expertise and input that you share with us. But as Matilda mentioned, we'll also be asking you to participate in other kinds of evaluation activities, such as surveys and focus groups throughout the next couple of years. So we thank you in advance for participating in these activities. We really use this information to learn about what's working well across CAME, as well as areas to improve. We'll share more about that in the coming months as we work together. One area where we took some literal feedback in phase 1, we had a couple participants share that they wanted shorter surveys. So our first survey we shared with you all was much shorter than our surveys in phase 1. Thank you to everyone who took this survey. We really appreciate you taking the time, so we have a sense for who's joining us in phase 2. If you haven't filled out our first survey, if you could fill it out by next week, April 4th. If you have not received our survey, you can just let us know in the chat and we'll be sure to send it to you. And then we have one other evaluation request today. We are engaging in a small sub-study as part of the Early Math Initiative, focused on the Count, Play, Explore webpage. And so you may have already heard a little information about this through email, and we are going to just share a little more information now while we have you. So I'll pass it over to my colleague Liz to describe this evaluation activity.
Thanks, Jennifer. So yes, we can definitely share this with you who haven't already seen perhaps an email about it, but we'll forward all the materials again. But essentially what we're doing is looking at some of the videos on the Count, Play, Explore website. And it hosts a number of videos for children from birth to age 8, where it really gives examples of families engaging their children in early math. And so we would like to recruit or have families participate in this study for 2 weeks total, where they'll answer 6 surveys, but 4 of them are very short and are focused on the videos. So we'll ask them to watch a short video and then answer 8 to 10 questions about that video. And if they answer all the surveys, we'll go ahead and provide them with a $20 gift card to Target. And thanks for their thank you for their time, because we do appreciate that, taking time out of their busy day. And they can participate either over email, where we'll send survey links to their email, or by text message, where we'll send links to their text message or to their phone. And I put my contact information at the bottom here with both my email address and my phone number. So feel free to call, text, or shoot me an email, but I will definitely follow up with all of you with more information and a flyer that perhaps some of your different schools could post around to have families see this study and participate with us.
Thank you, Liz. If there's any questions, please pop them in the chat and we can pop it back over to Paul to close us out for Matilda.
Just one comment. Several people on the chat asked for the survey, and we started sending it out based on your identification, each agency identifying their participants. We will continue to share the survey and make sure everyone, believe me, we want everyone's input as much as you want to participate. So appreciate you sharing your emails, and we will definitely reach out to everyone with this initial survey.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer, Osnat, and the whole West Ed team for sharing this last hour with us. It's exciting to see just the wonderful groundwork that's been laid for fantastic resources that we can all contribute to and collaborate to develop through this next phase of the initiative. So I want to turn it back over to Matilda for just a few final words as well.
Thank you, Paul. Again, I won't make it too long. Just wanted to say thank you again for partnering with us on this next phase. Just super excited to see those of you that were partnering with us in phase 1. Excited to see your faces, and welcome to those that are joining us for the first time. Excited to be able to meet you and get to know you. Again, we will be sending out a survey to get your input on the scheduling of upcoming COPs, in addition to offering up Matilda moments for you to ask any questions that you have about the initiative, about the deliverables, budget, etc. So again, just super pumped and excited to be able to roll up our sleeves and work together to co-create these resources and materials and professional learning opportunities that will be available for free across the state for our teachers and our coaches and our trainers. So again, welcome back, and just super excited to be here and partner with all of you. Back to you, Paul.
Well, thank you all for joining us today. On behalf of the Ames team, we're just so excited to be partnering in this work and play, as we like to say it is. So we're so excited to be going forward together. We hope that you all have a wonderful rest of this week and a good weekend. We'll look forward to being in touch and to continuing our important work that we have to do together. So thank you all again, and we wish you a great rest of the day.